Hello, everyone. How are you this evening? This is going to be a fantastic live stream. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We have so much to talk about. Gee, what happened to a wonderful front runner? By the way, thank you to my super chat. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. What happened to a front runner for the 2020 Democratic nomination? Really guy, stand-up guy, great person. Oh, Michael Avenatti. Looks like Mr. Avenatti was taken into custody by the Los Angeles Police Department for charges related to violence. Isn't that interesting? So really quickly, before we get started with anything, I have an upload on that. Avenatti. Yeah, the mushroom, the Yeti, and the Avenatti. That's what I like to. That's how I like to call him. Avenatti. Avenatti bailed out after being arrested on suspicion of felony domestic violence. Fox News, ABC7.com. Michael Avenatti arrested for domestic violence in Los Angeles. The LAPD tweeted out the following. We can confirm that today, LAPD detectives arrested Michael Avenatti on suspicion of domestic violence. This is an ongoing investigation, and we will provide more details as they become available. This is LAPD HQ at LAPD HQ on Twitter 5 hours ago. Isn't that interesting? Wow. Thank you, Desi. Thank you, Desi. It's all happening, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Senate. We'll always have Paris. We'll always have the Senate. Where's that from? Always have Paris. I should know where it's from. Casablanca. And of course, I knew that. I knew that. So let's let's move from that to Hillary Clinton, a seamless transition of two dysfunctional stories. Hillary Clinton, first of all, when she gets indicted, obviously people will say, oh, HA, you were saying this for a long time. I tip my hat to Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch. They're like the Mount Everest of Clinton indictments. I am a small little, I would say, molehill. How big is a molehill? You always use the phrase, but how big is a molehill? Molehill. I'm a small little hill. Let's put it that way. They're molehill. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. For moles. All right. They are the Mount Everest. So I'm like, I don't know, a tiny mountain. Not even a mountain. But they're the Mount Everest of Clinton indictments. Janice Webb. Thank you, Janice. So let's read this. Today, the court ruled in Janice Webb. Thank you. Today, the court ruled in Judicial Watch's favor. And that's a pretty big deal because we have Lindsey Graham, who wants to open up a new investigation into Hillary Clinton as the Senate Judiciary Chairman next year. Senator Lindsey Graham said he would further investigate the Hillary Clinton email controversy should he become chairman of the Judiciary Committee next year. This is the Washington Examiner. Lindsey Graham totally ready to seek answers on Clinton emails. So this really doesn't have to happen, but the indictments need to take place without all of this further investigation. They already have all the information. They have all the information. Trump has to act quickly and decisively. But Tom Fitton, just this 4 hours ago, Judicial Watch would be okay. So wait, what did he tweeted out something really. Court ruled today, 4 hours ago. Court ruled today, yes, Mrs. Clinton will have more questions under oath about her email. Super work by a Judicial Watch legal team. And it's, will Hillary Clinton have to answer more email questions under oath? Federal court hearing tomorrow on Judicial Watch motion to compel Clinton answers on key email questions. Again, Judicial Watch is doing the heavy lifting. They really are. Ladies and gentlemen, they really are. They're awesome. They're really, really awesome. And I tip my hat to them. They're really at the forefront, tip of the spear. They're at the forefront of all of this. I've written a lot about it. I say it every day. I bring it up. I brought it up tens of thousands of times. But they're in court, in the trenches, the legal trenches. They're doing all the hard work. Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch. They're absolutely amazing. I will read you this. Judicial Watch, federal court hearing to compel testimony from Hillary Clinton and make video depositions public. Judicial Watch announced today that a hearing will be held in federal court Wednesday. So this was yesterday, but Wednesday the court ruled in favor of Judicial Watch. November 14, 2018, on a motion to compel further testimony from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Director of Information Resource Management of the Executive Secretariat, John Bentel, as well as make public the audio-visual recordings of the depositions of top Clinton aides and State Department officials, including Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills. Look, they're already under oath. They've already perjured themselves. They've already perjured themselves because no matter what they've stated under oath, the government has evidence, records to show that they lied. For example, Cheryl Mills is a big part of this. Cheryl Mills was given the attorney-client privilege. Hillary Clinton and Cheryl Mills both were given attorney-client privilege because Cheryl Mills stated that she did not know of the email setup. Not only do the WikiLeaks DNC emails prove that she knew, Podesta emails prove that she knew because she stated, the president has, the president knows. He received emails from her private server. So he knows that she has a private server. So that's obvious. That's obvious. But I wrote a Daily Caller article stating that Cheryl Mills should never have been given attorney-client privilege. The attorney-client privilege was predicated upon the belief that Cheryl Mills had no idea she had an email server. She was actually telling Hillary Clinton not to run, or that she should be worried about running because of the email issue, because she was using an email server. So all of these people have already perjured themselves. Jason Wren, can you feel the tension in the air right now? Yep, I can feel it all down in my Jason Wren, yes, Jason, thank you. It's a lot of, all of it's going down, and next year is going to be one heck of a year. One heck of a year. Next year is going to be one heck of a year. Tom Fitton is the Tenzin Norgay. Sherpas do all the heavy lifting of Mount Everest. Yep. He is. Tom Fitton is amazing. Tom Fitton has, if anyone is risking his life, if anyone is making sure that justice is being served, that justice takes place, it's Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch. Without them, who knows what? We wouldn't know about Anthony Weiner. We wouldn't know that they sat on the Weiner laptop. Okay? We wouldn't know they sat on the Weiner laptop with all the classified emails. So Becky Pamplin, and I agree with you, Tom Fitton is amazing. Becky Pamplin, it's so frustrating to sit here knowing that crimes have been committed and not be able to do a darn thing. Becky Pamplin, the indictments will take place. Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch, but also Trump. I have to believe that Trump, I can't believe that Trump would not even try. If he just tries to get one of his campaign promises was to indict Clinton. Now, there's actually some very interesting comments in the live chat. Yeah, I don't know if Becky Pamplin and everyone else, I don't know if indictments will stop Clinton 2020. That might not even stop Clinton 2020. So, yeah, Tom Fitton is ripped. He is ripped. Luke St. Martin, hello. But no, I mean, Becky, just because she gets indicted, and she will eventually, she's committed too many crimes, and there are too many people in power who know she's committed crimes. I think that Clinton 2020, nothing will stop that. Even indictments, even jail, even prison. It would be like a mafia boss. she would rule the country from prison, just like like a mafia boss. Thank you. Notice X. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, so Becky Pamplin, thank you so very much. So let's continue reading. Start over. Judicial Watch announced today that a hearing will be held on federal court Wednesday, today, November 14, 2018. The judge ruled in favor of what I'm about to read, a motion to compel further testimony from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Director of Information Resource Management of the Executive Secretariat, John Bentel, as well as make public the audio-visual recordings of the depositions of top Clinton aides and State Department officials, including Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills. Clinton claimed that she does not recall 20 times in her under oath responses to 25 Judicial Watch questions concerning her Clinton.com non-state gov email. Bentel asserted his Fifth Amendment right and refused to answer 87 questions in his deposition. So the boa constrictor is slowly closing in. It can't be forever. This, Agent Pepsi 1. I often donate to Judicial Watch as a disaster in Florida. Dems will not stop until they steal the governor and senator spot. And in Georgia, the governor Dems are evil. The Democratic Party right now is evil. I feel that. I don't disagree with that. Aiden Brennan, hello and good morning. Good morning in the UK. It's evening now, LA time. In America, West Coast. Agent Pepsi 1, Judicial Watch is great. I have a feeling Rick Scott will pull it off. I'm not going to make any categorical statements aside from Clinton will get indicted. I'm going to wait a little while because we don't know. The level of cheating is unbelievable. But Agent Pepsi 1, I do believe Rick Scott and DeSantis will pull it off. John O. I'll never forgive Obama for using the anti-war movement to get into power and then doubling down on Bush foreign policy. Just wanted to say that. Absolutely, John O. That's one of the reasons I loved Obama initially, because I thought he was the opposite of Bush. He's not. Ask the people of Libya, my goodness. He destroyed Libya, and not one example of somebody condemning condemnation, nothing on the left. Ryan Stern, Thomas Fitton Hillary for Orange. Thomas Fitton Hillary for an orange jumpsuit. Ryan Stern. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Stern. Thank you, John O. I agree with you. Ryan Stern, Tom, when it happens, Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton will be the reason the country gets closure. The hearing was rescheduled from October 11, 2018, and is the latest development in the Judicial Watch Freedom of Information Act FOIA lawsuit about the controversial employment status of Huma Abedin. So she worked for the State Department. She worked for the Clinton Foundation. They were all over the show. Did Cheryl Mills. They were all over the place. Look, this is the most overt, blatant form of corruption. The Clinton email debacle. Now, in my book, But Her Top Secret Emails, I know has been read by people. I'm certain by people within the U.S. government or people who had been part of the U.S. government. And it explains everything. It explains all the corruption, all the illegal activity that was allowed to take place under President Obama's administration. The lawsuit, which seeks records regarding the authorization for Uma Abedin to engage in outside employment while employed at the State Department. Why would you do that? You can't just work at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation at the same time. Was reopened because of revelations about her ClintonEmail.com system. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was required to submit under oath written answers to Judicial Watch's questions. Clinton objected to and refused to answer questions on the creation of her email system. Her decision to use the system, despite warnings from State Department cybersecurity officials, and the basis for her claim that the State Department had 90 to 95% of her emails. That's not true at all. They don't even have 50% of her emails. Judge Sullivan is considering Judicial Watch's motion to compel answers to these questions. So Sullivan and I believe, another judge? No, Sullivan granted the motion. So this is going forward, ladies and gentlemen. In her response sent to Judicial Watch and the court on October 13, 2016, Clinton refused to answer 3 questions and responded that she does not recall 20 times concerning her non-government ClintonEmail.com email system. She preceded her answers by 8 general objections and 2 objections to definitions. The word object or objection appears 84 times throughout the 23-page. Just indict Trump. I mean, this is amazing what John O., Eisenhower, and Reagan were better on peace than Obama. I believe so as well. Reagan was a lot better on peace. A lot better. Yeah. I'd say so was Eisenhower. Yeah. Although Vietnam, you could say, started with Eisenhower and then Kennedy. John O., I agree with you. Mr. President, somebody close to Mr. President, if somebody close to President Trump or somebody close to the White House or somebody anywhere gets this can get this message to Matthew Whitaker or President Trump, do what you need to do. Act decisively and quickly. Don't be fools. Don't be weak, weak, tepid, indecisive, bumbling fools. You have power right now. You have it for a certain amount of time. Matthew Whitaker literally wrote an article. I would indict Clinton. This is the Attorney General. You don't need any more investigations. You really don't need any more investigations. You don't need any more investigations, although Lindsey Graham is all up for an investigation. You don't need any more investigations. You don't need any more, they're going to try to, they're going to say that they're going to investigate Trump's underwear because it's Russian underwear. They're going to try to hurt Trump and his family any way they can. And that's all they're going to do. That's all they're going to do. Patriot 95, when Trump got elected, that was his mandate. We spoke, we the people spoke in 2016, act now or lose it all. Patriot 95, absolutely. Absolutely. And think about it this way. Patriot 95, you're 100% right. If he fails to do that, he'll be the same. He will be the same status as Bernie, who simply acquiesced. Who simply acquiesced. The thing I can't stand about Bernie Sanders is that he was cheated and didn't do anything about it. And with Trump, there's no evidence of any wrongdoing. With Clinton, there's a mountain of evidence. But people on the left can't acknowledge that Clinton cheated and that she committed crimes. To them, it's like conspiracy. Actual crimes, actual evidence of crimes is conspiracy to them. What's real and genuine is that Trump worked with Putin to hack the DNC to allow people to know that Bernie was being cheated, while at the same time saying that Bernie was never cheated and Hillary got more votes. You may be surprised, but Herbert Hoover was the least interventionist president, so credit where credit is due. John O. John O. Thank you. You may be surprised, but Herbert Hoover was the least interventionist president, so credit where credit is due. John O., thank you. It's interesting, too, because you have people on the left who will actually vote for Clinton 2020. There are a lot of people, even though they say, "Oh no, we're not going to vote for her." Oh, she's, old news. If Clinton runs, they'll vote for her. When she gets indicted, because she will, and she committed crimes, she will actually still run, and people will still vote for her. And the media will, the same media that's saying now, "Oh, please, Hillary, don't run," will say, "You know what? This is just what we have to deal with. We have to defeat Trump, and this is the person. This is the way to do it. Hillary is tough. She can defeat Trump. Hillary is tough. And then you'll get the pollsters, and then you'll get all the different, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC. They'll fabricate another scandal with Trump. It'll never end. Politics was never this nasty and dirty until both Clintons got into the picture. Then it became really disgusting because Bill was so nasty that he had to lower the bar. The standard has been lowered. So both Clintons, if they're not doing committing unethical acts, they're breaking laws. The standard has been lowered to the point where now Clinton actually committed crimes, and to balance that out, to make it reciprocal, they fabricated crimes regarding the saint. Yes. Thank you, Lola Bells. Thank you, Lola. They fabricated crimes with Trump just to make Hillary, not look that bad. Why aren't I 50 points ahead? So, Judicial Watch, okay, the public and the media have a right to a full accounting from top officials of the Clinton State Department, said Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton, in lieu of a much-needed new and untainted investigation by the FBI. The continued work of Judicial Watch in the courts is clearly the only hope of bringing the sunlight into the Clinton email issue and completing the public record. So Judicial Watch Tom Fitton has stated, perhaps not as categorically as me, but he stated, you know what, she could get indicted eventually. I believe she will. Tammy Eaton, it's interesting, the day, December 21st, 2018. Well, I don't think, Tammy, I tell you, I don't believe there are going to be any tribunals. I just think they're going to be indictments based on public record. Public record. Tammy Eaton, thank you so very much. Chelsea Clinton 2020. Tammy, thank you. I just think that the public record, there's enough in the public record. There's just enough in the public record to indict Clinton. And if you look right now, thank you, Sean, for this great article on Florida. All right, where's this article? That's right. Okay. All right, where's the article I'm looking at? Where's that article? Politico. All right. Federal prosecutors. This is interesting. This is November 14th today. Federal prosecutors reviewing altered election documents tied to Florida Democrats. Wow. That's bizarre. That never happens. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that Bernie was cheated aside from Putin hacking the DNC, which there's no evidence of that either. Okay, so Tallahassee, the Florida Department of State last week asked federal prosecutors to investigate dates that were changed on official state election documents. The first voting irregularities it has flagged since the wake of the 2018 election. The concerns, which the department says can be tied to the Florida Democratic Party, centered around date changes on forms used to fix vote-by-mail ballots sent with incorrect or missing information. Known as cure affidavits, those documents used to fix mail ballots were due no later than 5 p.m. on November 5th, the day before the election. But affidavits released on Tuesday by DOS show that documents from 4 different counties said the ballots could be returned by 5 p.m. on Thursday, which is which is not accurate. Wow, look at that. Well, that's bizarre. That's bizarre. I'm sure it was just a mistake. It's just a well-meaning mistake. So how many voters did they count? We'll never know. That's what they do. They hide behind plausible deniability. They benefit from plausible deniability and then claim, well, you can't prove intent. Meanwhile, there's no evidence or even intent for Trump to work with Putin, and yet it's, oh my God, 2 years, Mueller, Saint Mueller. If you even talk about Mueller, oh my God, there will be a government shutdown. Oh my God, and it's like they've just convinced themselves. They've convinced themselves of just nonsense. I love it. Known as cure affidavits, these documents used to fix mail ballots were due no later than 5 p.m. on November 5th, the day before the election. But affidavits released on Tuesday show that documents from 4 different counties, you think those counties vote Democrat, said the ballots could be returned by 5 p.m., which is not accurate. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Gosh. Isn't it funny how all of these voter irregularities, isn't it funny how they all seem to benefit Democrats? So when Democrats are caught in overt cheating and scandal, what happens with them is they say, well, you can't prove anything. You can't prove anything. You have no proof. You have no proof. You can't prove. So there's no evidence of Trump Russia. None. You have no money trail. There's a money trail with the Uranium One. Cash flow to the Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. That's the verbatim New York Times article. Federal prosecutors reviewing altered election documents tied to Florida Democrats. Wow. So then they get on Rick Scott, like, you can't say anything. How dare you? Meanwhile, this is the same party that cheated Bernie Sanders. Audio of a Florida Democratic Party caller leaving a voicemail message asking a Palm Beach County voter to fix their vote by mail ballot after Election Day, which is not allowed. Oh my God. Audio of a Florida Democratic Party caller leaving a voicemail message asking a Palm Beach County voter to fix their vote by mail ballot after Election Day, which is not allowed, was also sent. Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is insane. I can't believe I'm reading this. I cannot believe I'm reading this. Going to Florida next week so I can vote. This is insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Audio of a Florida Democrat. Oh my God. Audio of a Florida Democratic Party caller leaving a voicemail message asking a Palm Beach voter to fix their vote by mail ballot after Election Day, which is not allowed, was also sent to Politico. Okay, whatever. That's lame. That's not just lame. That's, criminal, but all right. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is just insane. Florida recount. I just audio of a Florida Democratic Party. This is Politico. Audio of a Florida Democratic Party. Oh my God. Audio of a Florida Democratic Party caller leaving a voicemail message asking a Palm Beach voter to fix their vote by mail ballot after Election Day. This is why I'm going to say it again. Oh my God. It must be annoying, I know. Audio of a Florida Democratic Party caller leaving a voicemail message asking a Palm Beach voter to fix their vote by mail ballot after Election Day, which is not allowed, was also sent to Politico separately. Oh, jeez. Oh my God. It never ends. Well, then they say, well, you can't show intent. Meanwhile, there's actual they demand not just evidence, they demand a handwritten letter from Hillary Clinton in Broward County saying they committed crimes. With Trump, there's no evidence at all. They're just highly confident something fishy happened. So we have to have the Mueller probe. Why? Because something happened. We just think that something happened. Meanwhile, not only do we think something happened, we know that votes were tampered with, at least in terms of the ignorance and the dishonesty and the election irregularities, the voting irregularities, calling people to say, "Oh yeah, just fix it after election day, no problem." How do you do that after election day? Oh, this is just insane. It's really, really, really insane. I'm going to Rick Scott's website right now, or Rick Scott's. This is crazy. This is just crazy. So you had people turned away for voting twice. You have election ballots that election machines vote vote machines that aren't working. Voting machines that aren't working. By the way, Eric H526, we love you. Be safe. Thank you. Get better, Eric H526. This is just nuts. Okay, so I'm going to send this to the senator-elect. How do you call? Why would one person call and say you can fix their vote by mail ballot after Election Day? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Legal update from Rick Scott. Today, a judge ordered the Hillsborough County Supervisor of Elections to comply with our team's request to allow election observers access to the same room where the ongoing recount process is taking place, as required by law. So, if you check my, if you check one of my segments prior to this, the uploads, there's a little over a 12,000 vote lead. The bot 2007. It's true that the OC won't have any R's after votes are counted. Yeah, that's that's insane. Also, what do you think of McCarthy as minority leader? He's just another Ryan. Would rather see Jordan. Yeah, I would much rather see Jordan. And all of those, like most of those contests in the House were like razor thin. And we're still waiting for like, what, 10 or 12, I think more, after Election Day with the vote counts. How do they all help Democrats? Where are the Republicans that are winning? Catching steam and gaining so much after election. I would not be surprised. I'm not saying that this was a systemic problem in the House, but I'm saying I would not be surprised. 79, yeah. There's no more left. I got to get some. Kinte Giffer. What about Trump's 2014 tweet about Scott? I don't know. Let's see. What did Trump tweet about Scott in 2014? Trump 2014 tweet. Donald Trump's love-hate Twitter relationship with Governor Rick Scott. Rick Scott and Bill Nelson both look like Tales from the Crypt. I'm telling you, they look like human skeleton. Well, Bill Nelson looks like a human skeleton, and Rick Scott's not far behind. It's pretty crazy. Oh, it's about the whole about gaming. Okay. Trump. This was in 2015. Governor Rick Scott of Florida did really poorly on television this morning. I hope he's okay. That's so funny. I would, the bot 2007. I would much rather see Jim Jordan. But Bill Nelson is like that. That's what like nightmares are made of. It's crazy. Silence. Silence photography. I don't think I haven't. Only SIG I tried was in 1911. I heard it's good. I heard that one is good. So, okay, Tom. What is Tom Fitton? Dang, Tom Fitton is the man. How big is Tom Fitton? He must be like 6'5". Let me continue reading. It was not part of the information turned over to federal prosecutors. Of course it wasn't. Look, Democrats, what they do is they hide behind plausible deniability, but they don't afford that luxury to Trump. They say, well, two things could be, they're mutually exclusive. There could be rampant chaos in Broward County, but all of that could have nothing to do with Bill Nelson catching up on a 57,000 vote lead. Then with Trump, it's like Trump Jr. met with Natalia Veselnskaya. So what? That was a meeting with Russia. Where are the links? They still haven't even said that Natalia Veselnskaya was a Russian spy or whatever. She was allowed into the country by Loretta Lynch and President Obama. So it's like, keen ticket for a time travel. So let's see. So let me read this. This is great. So among the counties in question is Broward, of course, which emerged as the epicenter of controversy as 3 statewide races and 3 local legislative races went into recounts following the November 6th elections. Florida has to have federal government observers or United Nations observer. I don't really care. I don't really care. Somebody has to be there looking over the shoulder of people in each county, not just Broward, each county. Republicans appointed to embattled Broward elections chief Brenda Snipes' record of past election gaffes in arguing that the largely Democratic county is tilted against them, perhaps fraudulently so. DOS officials have repeatedly told the media that the monitors they sent to Broward County saw no election fraud. Okay, yeah. It's kind of like a restaurant where you don't take care of it, but then the inspector is coming and people get food poisoning and there's like rats and stuff, and then it's spotless. The county inspector is coming, and then suddenly they clean up. It's spotless. They don't see anything, and they go, and then it's business as usual. It wasn't until Tuesday that the office revealed publicly that it had turned over information to federal prosecutors. Alerting a form in a manner that provides the incorrect date for a voter to cure a defect imposes a burden on the voter significant enough to frustrate the voter's ability to vote. How about a burden on the state or on the election? You're allowing people to break laws. Their votes shouldn't have been counted. If that's the case, you shouldn't have counted the vote. And it's just, this county consistently has the same problems. It's just, if the tables were turned, they would call foul play. They would never, ever, ever have allowed any of this to, So there you go. I mean, the Clinton email every single day. I think that January of 2019 is going to be great. I get that feeling. It's going to be great. And Thursday, tomorrow? Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow, there should be the final end of votes. Let's see. Let's see if tomorrow. Okay, so Florida recount deadline. No decision yet in key Florida recount lawsuit over mismatched ballot signatures. Of course not. Legal decisions and deadlines loom as Florida's forever midterm forever midterm. That's so awesome. That's so great. Florida's forever midterm enters prayer mode. Uncertainty reigned over the recount of Florida's forever midterms Wednesday as election supervisors rushed to meet deadlines that may not come to pass, and campaign attorneys haggled over election laws that may yet change even now. More than a week. See, that's the thing. Democrats are like, let's change the laws. With Palm Beach Supervisor of Elections Susan Booker all but praying to God to try to finish the crucial. See, it's not about finishing it. It's about making sure the votes are accurate. Bill Nelson threw up their Hail Mary in Tallahassee court in hopes of injecting thousands of rejected ballots. He wanted to into the mix. Of course he did. He's like, please let me have all these rejected ballots. This way I can win. I'm a Democrat. That's what we do. Automated narrow margins in races for U.S. Senate Governor, Commissioner of Agriculture forced Secretary of State Ken Denser to order an automatic machine recount in all three races. Saturday, of course, one of the machines didn't work. Problems in Palm Beach County were ranging from vote tabulation machines overheated Tuesday and forced a new recount of 107. This is like absurd. Have Booker predicting she'll forced a new recount of 175,000 recounted ballots already. That likelihood underlays two standing federal lawsuits seeking to extend the recount window. The lawsuits are both before U.S. District Judge Mark Walker, who on Wednesday spent hours weighing a separate Nelson campaign lawsuit to validate. My God. Nelson campaign lawsuit. He wants to validate thousands of rejected absentee and provisional ballots. They're rejected for a reason. Why would you have a lawsuit to let rejected ballots be counted? Maybe because you want to steal the election. The lawsuit over rejected ballots is only one of several filed by Nelson's campaign and its allies to try to tilt the recount in his favor as he trails Scott by more than 12,500 votes. He's trailing Scott by 12,500 votes. What more has to be done for Rick Scott to win? This is insane. Ken, I believe you. I agree. I agree with you. I think it's all going to go down. Hopefully, the beginning of the year. This is just insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. You know, it's like the machine, the voter tabulation machine's overheating. It's normal. We're just trying our best. Vote tabulations machine overheated Tuesday. This is actually a machine that didn't just straight up malfunction on Saturday. Where are they getting these machines? They go back in the 80s and then like, this is a great piece of technology. This is a 1970s voting ballot machine counter thingy. It's fantastic. Voter tabulation machines overheated. Let me see this. This is hilarious. Palm Beach County's voting machines overheat and force recount. Well, of course they overheat. Of course they overheated. You couldn't put a fan or something? Put some ice cubes on the thing? Palm Beach County's race to recount votes is heating up, literally. The county's decade-old ballot counting machines overheated and gave incorrect totals. It just happened to lean towards Bill Nelson, forcing the county to restart its recount. How do they know they have hundreds of thousands of pieces of paper? What a cluster, you know what. It'll be a miracle if we just get done with this in a couple of days. $240,000 is too close. Oh, man. It just never ends. It never, ever ends. And you have Bill Nelson They allowed faxed. They allowed fax machines. Oh my God! Nelson on Wednesday filed a lawsuit against Bay County's election supervisor, demanding access to about 150 ballots that were improperly faxed or mailed in. What? Since when do you fax your ballot? What is that about? What? This is insane. This is insane. I mean, they're really going after every vote. There's probably going to be another lawsuit like two of these were faxed. This is another lawsuit. We want justice. The fax machine wasn't working. The ink was out of the fax machine. We must get justice right now. My pager just be this. They're like, they put like Nelson in like numbers with an old pager. I voted Nelson. It says right here. That's the thing, politics never used to be this way, but Bill and Hillary have made it. There needs to be some kind of. See, this is the thing. You indict Clinton, and then they spend a year defending Clinton. They're defending something that cannot be defended. They would be defending something that can't be defended. That can't be defended. So. When it's all said and done, I do believe Rick Scott will win. Then we got Amy Coney Barrett. Amy Coney Barrett potentially is next. Whenever any of the justices retire. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so very, very much. I think I will be back very likely later on. And what can I tell you other than thank you to my super chat. Thank you so very, very much. Everyone, thank you. God bless. It's going to be fun. This is really, really fun. Eventually, by the time we're all, by the time a meteor hits the planet 1,000 years from now, Rick Scott will be eventually the senator of Florida, which is great. Broward will have finished its recount in 1,000 years. So all is good. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. God bless. I will hit subscribe right now. I will see you soon.